you're seeing is the Appalachians cry. A plan. Keep that company gun in hand. Make those bastards understand. Look from that day still on land. That's how the Smoky Mountains got to know. Blazes been hanging around here for an hour. When you see that misty top, you'll know. What you're seeing is the Appalachians cry. Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. I know Bandit was like, if he's yelling, I should be able to yell. You know, it's that's all right. Don't worry. I'm not going to yell at y'all the whole time. You know, I wouldn't do that to you. Thank you. Well, either way, I wouldn't do that to you. It reminds me too much of my upbringing. I wouldn't want that. But I love singing songs that tell stories, you know. And I especially love telling stories that mean something to me. Songs that I really relate to. So that first song was about when I worked in the coal mines in the early 1900s. This next song is about when I fought in the Civil War. So. He penned a letter back in 1862 when battle lines cut through the north and south. Said, dear mother, I'm dreaming of the day that I get to make my way back to that house. You know I miss you. I miss father too, but there's somebody else I can't leave out. So if you talk to brother, tell him that I love him, although I think he chose the wrong side. I won't hold that against him. I hope God is with him, and I pray we both make it home alive. Miles away, there was another soldier like him, but in a different color uniform. By lantern light, he wrote his own letter on a tiny piece of paper, slightly torn. Said, dear father, do you recall a time that I didn't have to fight in this damned war? And if you talk to brother, tell him that I love him, although I think he chose the wrong side. I won't hold that against him. I hope God is with him, and I pray we both make it home alive. It don't matter who they're fighting for, they're just praying that they both survive this war. If they make it home, there won't be battle lines. They greet each other, arms open wide. That's why they ride. if you talk to brother, tell him that I love him, although I think he chose the wrong side. But I won't hold that against him. I hope God is with him, and I pray we both make it home alive. They're both praying that they make it home alive. Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you. Some of y'all may have caught me in the lie. I did not actually work in the coal mines in the early 1900s, and I know it's scandalous, it's absolutely scandalous. And I didn't actually fight in the Civil War, you know. But I did watch the Ken Burns documentary, and so I'm basically an expert, you know. Like I'm like a historian, you know. So anything you watch on PBS, you can put on your resume. I'm pretty sure that's how that works, right? So, we got any other PBS kids out there? Anybody grow up watching PBS? Huh? We got a few back there. Well, I was poor too, so I mean, I was right there with you. We had 5 channels when I was a kid, and 2 of them were PBS. Yeah. You could turn your antenna. You see, you were like rich poor. Like our antenna turner had a name, and his name was Micah, and that was my brother. And so he would, yeah. My brother would go out there, and he'd be holding on to the antenna, and that's the only way we got that 5th channel, you know. It was pretty funny, though, you know, like, we got great reception. Sad part was he never got to see it, but we got great reception. But I loved PBS growing up, you know. I'd watch Mr. Rogers, you know. I'd watch Bob Ross, and I learned a lot watching those shows, you know. Bob Ross was the best, yeah. I learned how there are no mistakes, just happy accidents, you know. But I loved that no matter what, you know, when you were watching PBS, you were always going to walk away a little better than whenever you started, you know? And being a poor kid from Western Kentucky, one of the things I loved about it was at the end of every program, no matter what the program was, it would always say, made possible by viewers like you, you know? And that made me feel a little less alone in the world. You know, maybe there was other people learning how to love from Mr. Rogers, or learning how to find the beauty in the world from Bob Ross. So I wrote this as a tribute to PBS, and I've gotten to play it on PBS, and someday I hope it becomes our theme song, because I'm still a poor kid from Western Kentucky, and I need the royalties, but also because I believe it. It's called Viewers Like Me. I grew up on public television. Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers, my addiction. Too poor to afford habits, so when I'd need a fix, I'd twist those bunny ears until the picture came in crisp. It was good night, Austin city limits, 1,000 miles from nowhere, Kentucky. Those telethons I wish I could have given half of what came through that TV screen. When I felt alone, they knew just what I'd need. They'd remind me there are viewers like me. And I learned my imagination is a place, a hideaway if I need to escape. I'd ride a big red dog, call him my best friend, slide down the spectrum to the reading rainbow's end. It was good night, in city limits, 1,000 miles from nowhere, Kentucky. Those telethons I wish I could have given half of what came through that TV screen. When I felt alone, they knew just what I need. They remind me there were viewers like me. If I'm ever needing a reminder about life before my britches got so small, that antenna in the box of misfit wires convinces me to cut the cable off. It's still good night host in city limits, no matter where this crazy life may lead. Those telethons I wish I could have given half of what came through that TV screen. I felt alone, they knew just what I need. And every time I get lost, they can find me. And they remind me they're reviewers like me. Oh, they remind me they're reviewers like me. Thank you very much. Thank y'all. So aside from, watching PBS, I also grew up listening to poor people's music, which meant my mom's records. It was funny. I'd go to school and everybody would be talking about the latest Britney Spears or NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. And I'd go to school and I'd be like, have y'all heard of a guy named Ray Charles? Nobody had, and I'd come home and I'd be so upset. I'd be like, Mom, nobody at school knows who Ray Charles is. And she'd say, Daniel, you're 6 years old. Stop talking about Ray Charles at school. They're going to think you're weird, But I loved that. I got a lot of soul from Ray, and I got a lot of the songwriting stuff from Dolly. We got any Dolly Parton fans out there? Yeah. Love Dolly. Still got a crush on her. Somehow Dolly's still hot. I don't know how she does it, but I used to love that song Jolene, Great song, And what was great about it is that she talks about this woman this entire song, and she's having this conversation with her. And you get to the end, and you don't know whether Jolene stole Dolly's man or not, She just leaves you hanging. But you don't know, because she could have rode off in the sunset with Dolly's man, or she could be buried in Dolly's basement, because Dolly wouldn't take that shit, I feel like, And so I love those songs that leave you wanting more. There's a few of those out there. And this song is a reference to a few of them. You might recognize songs like Jolene. I want to meet Jolene, look in those emerald eyes, ask if she let dear Dolly be, or if she stole that guy. I want to meet that gambler that taught Kenny how to lie, ask him what he's running from and why. Those stories made us all sing along. There's more to the song. Everybody's heard them on the radio, but it always made me wonder if there's more to know. 'Cause those stories can't be over, they're just waiting to be told. Is it up to me to see where they go? I want to meet that fiddle player Johnny, who beat the devil at his game. Find out if he lived in infamy or if he lived in fame. Ain't that desperado? See if he made a home, or is he still out riding fences, doomed to be alone? 'Cause those stories made us all sing along. There's more to the song. Everybody's heard them on the radio. It always made me wonder if there's more to know. Those stories can't be over, just waiting to be told. Is it up to me to see where they go? Oh, it feels like those words are set in stone. I can't leave those stories alone. Feels like a big home. Find more to the songs, the ones everybody's heard on the radio. It always made me wonder if there's more to know. Those stories can't be over, just waiting to be told. Is it up to me? Oh, I think it's up to me. I'll take it up on me. Tell where they go. Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you. As long as I'm talking about Dolly, I love Dolly Parton, you know, and I'd love to meet her. I haven't had an opportunity to meet her yet, but I met her hairdresser, and I feel like that's pretty close, you know, yeah. You know, I mean, you can't get much closer to meeting Dolly Parton than her hairdresser, except for maybe her plastic surgeon. I don't know, you know, like. But I'd visit with this woman. Her name was Sherry. And she had all these great stories about being on the road and, you know, doing the hair of the stars, you know. And I would sit inside of her dining room. We'd have dinner and we'd talk. And she would always have these great stories about everything. And I used to say I'd go fishing over there, you know. But it was kind of a stocked pond. It wasn't too hard. So one day, whenever I was over there, I looked up on the wall, and she had this painting of a boat. And all I said was, "That's a really nice painting." Sherry said, "Well, I got that from so-and-so back in such and such, and I put it right there because it was in the hallway. When it was in the hallway, everybody just walked past it, and they go to the bathroom, they come right back, and they never talk about it. But now I put it inside the dining room. People come over, and they have dinner with me, and they look up, and they're like, 'Ooh, that's a nice painting.' I never heard that whenever it was in the hallway." And I didn't know if she was going to take another breath. She just was gone, you know. She just went off. But I loved it, you know. I love that because nobody gets that excited about something unless it really means something to them. It got me thinking about my dad because, you know, my dad, I mean, he would say he's a collector. Some folks would call him a hoarder, you know, but, and so this is a song that I wrote because it really made me look at the stuff my dad has in a different light, you know, because I used to call it junk, and I found out that junk is just stuff you don't know the story behind yet. But this is a story about going back in time with my dad. I never understood why my father crammed so much stuff in that house. Got to be so full, it was hard to even move around. My question was answered, and I said, "Dad, let's get rid of this junk." And he said, "Son, you don't realize what you're giving up. 'Cause you see, in baseball glove I see a father's love, you see a rocking chair, but I see your granddad sitting there, you see a great old box that weighs a ton. But I see my favorite moments working with you, son. You may see some things that I don't need, but I see memories. Every item had a story. You see, you walked me through our past. I realized what my father really had was a time machine in disguise. I went on a journey back in time with my old man, and when I picked up that gold ring, he said, holding history in your hands. You see a wedding band, but I see a bride on the beach in the sand. You see a white lace dress, but I see her looking her best. You see a beat up old guitar. I see the tool I used to win your mama's heart. You may see some things that I don't need, but I see memories. Then he put a leather book in my hands, said it's the most important thing you'll ever read. 'Cause every time I thought that I was holding it was holding me. 'Cause you see words on a page, but I see my saving grace. You see golden cross, but I see my God when I was lost. You see a Bible about to come apart. I see the light when things got dark. Right now you may see something that you don't need, but someday you'll look back and sound like me. Saying I see memories. Thank you guys, appreciate it. I played that song for my dad, and my dad, he wrote a lot of songs when I was growing up. I'd come home and he'd have a guitar in his hands, and I'm the youngest of 6 kids. That's right, yeah. So my mom got stopped in the supermarket one time by somebody, and they said, "You're either a devout Catholic or a swinging Baptist." But my dad used to love writing these songs. Every single day I'd come home, he'd have a guitar in his hands, and he was able to just shut out the whole world and just make up a new song every day. And so whenever I started writing songs, I'd show him all my songs. And my dad, he was really good to me. He was really good about telling me if a song sucked. He didn't mind, you know. But I appreciated it because it made me a better writer, you know, it really did. And so whenever I played this next song for my dad, this next song is my dad's favorite, you know. You would think it'd be the one that justified his hoarding, but no, it's this one. I played this song for my dad, and he said, "Daniel, I think that song is perfect. I wouldn't change anything about it." And that was about the highest praise I could have asked for it. It's called "Didn't Know I Was Drunk." So apparently I was playing the wrong songs for the right audience. She told me she was gonna leave if I didn't stop giving him lip. Left and right collided that night, beer and politics don't mix. I was having fun, told him he was dumb, couldn't stop running my mouth. He told me get on my feet, and that's when it all went south. I didn't know I was drunk until I stood up. Didn't know he was mad until I got punched. Didn't know she was gone until I couldn't find my truck. Oh, 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 didn't know I was drunk. Started walking home cause my ride was gone, but I didn't get very far when a car pulled up and a great big cop said, boy, were you at that bar? I told him, yes sir, I'm a mess sir, and all my words are slurred. No, it's late and I can't walk straight, but it's all because of her. I didn't know I was drunk until I stood up. Didn't know he was mad until I got punched. Didn't know she was gone until I couldn't find my truck. Oh, 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 didn't know I was drunk. If I could have stopped talking, now my pride is all that I got left. Well, she took my truck, and after I throw up, I'd like to report a theft. I didn't know I was drunk until I stood up. Didn't know he was mad until I got punched. Didn't know she was gone until I couldn't find my truck. Oh, 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 I didn't know I was drunk. Thank you very much, y'all. So I like to keep things balanced, you know. And that was a song about doing the wrong thing, which, you know, it's surprising to me how many times people ask me if that song is a true story. And I'm a little insulted. Like, I don't even have a truck anymore. Well, like I said, anymore. But, you know, I figure since that's a song about doing the wrong thing, I should do a song about doing the right thing. And I was inspired. I was living in Nashville at the time. And this guy was weaving in and out of traffic, you know, cutting people off and running people off the road. Some of y'all might drive like that, I don't know. But obviously it was wrong, you know. And that should have been a good enough reason not to do it. Like, there's certain things you just know are right and wrong, and you do them because you know they're right. That's all it should take. Like, I knew whenever I saw that guy driving like that, I wanted to follow him and beat the shit out of him, but I didn't, because that's wrong. I went through the steps. And also, I'm a musician, not a UFC fighter. There's a reason. But this is a little song to remind me just try to do what's right, if I know it's right, you know? Maybe it can be a reminder for y'all, too. If you find a wallet, bring it back with everything inside. If your buddies had too many, they slide over, I'll drive. If a family short on groceries, help them pay the tab. Someone stranded on the highway, help them get some gas. Go the extra mile, spend the extra time. Don't let the chance to love somebody ever pass me by. It ain't always easy, but love them anyway, even if it don't come back to you. Do the right thing, it's the right thing to do. If you see an old man standing, offer him your seat. And if your brother does you wrong, turn the other cheek. If your heart's already taken, don't act like it's not. No, someone's waiting for you, so give them all you got. Go the extra mile, spend the extra time. Don't let the chance to love somebody ever pass you by. It ain't always easy, but love them anyway, even if it don't come back to you. Do the right thing, it's the right thing to do. Choices we make could change a life. They might change you. Go the extra mile, spend the extra time. Don't let the chance to love somebody ever pass you by. It ain't always easy, but love them anyway, even if it don't come back to you. And even if nobody's watching you, not because somebody told you to. Just do the right thing, 'cause it's the right thing to do. All right. Thank you very much, y'all. I'm going to do about 3 more songs and then give everybody a chance to grab a smoke and a drink. And some of you have already heard, I highly recommend having a drink because it makes me funnier and makes me sound better. I get better looking. I've tested all of this on my wife, and I know it to be true. And so... But I'm going to do a song that was inspired by my grandma, My grandma just naturally did the right thing. I swear, she was as close to perfect as you could possibly get, and I'm not convinced that she wasn't, to be honest, I know they say that not everybody's perfect, but she was pretty damn close. I'd go over there, and I swear she never had a bad day. I'd walk in, and she'd have her arm in a sling, leg up in traction, and I'd say, "Grandma, how you doing?" And she'd say, "I'm just having the best day ever." I was like, how? How are you having such a great day, But she understood something. She understood that any day filled with love is a day worth living. She had more love than anybody I've ever met. So this song here is a little lesson I learned from my grandma about the greatest tool inside of every tool bag. There's an old wheelbarrow in Grandma's garden that she only ever uses for dirt. Just a rusty old bucket with 2 wooden handles, but it sure has done some work. 'Cause if it wasn't for that one-wheel wonder, the garden wouldn't have got far. It's just as important to use the right tools as it is to work hard. Because a hammer's made for nails, and a shovel's made for holes. Hate is made to break, and love is made to grow. If you want to build a brand new world, there's just one rule. Make sure you're using the right tool. I snapped a shovel right in half, trying to cut through roots. Took a claw hammer to a concrete wall, left with my ego bruised. Well, if you try to do the job wrong enough times, you'll realize real quick that it ain't worth keeping your pride. Take all the help you can get. Because a hammer's made for nails, and a shovel's made for holes. Hate is made to break, and love is made to grow. If you want to build a brand new world, there's just one rule. Make sure you're using the right tool. I'd like to think my grandma's up in heaven now, and every time I play this song, I'd like to think that she's looking down and she's got that big old smile that would light up every room. And she's lighting up heaven every single time I play this song. And as she watches me play it, she's saying, "This is just the best day ever." 'Cause a hammer's made for nails, and a shovel's made for holes. Hate is made to break, and love is made to grow. If you want to build a brand new world, there's just one rule. Make sure you're using the right tools. Make sure you're using the right tools. Thank you very much, y'all. My grandma, I love this story. She was talking to her sister one day, and like I said, my grandma didn't have bad days, but her sister, she was not like my grandma. And she was having a bad day, and she was complaining about getting old. She's like, "I hate getting old. You know, my bones are achy, and I'm cold all the time. I don't have as much energy as I used to have." And after she got done listing off all of these things that make getting old so terrible, my grandma said she looked at her and she said, "Oh, honey, I love getting old. I get to see all this love that I put into this world, and I get to see how it's multiplied from my kids to their grandkids and their grandkids. And now, every day that I'm alive, all this love that I put into the world gets to come back to me." Her sister looked at her and said, "What the hell's wrong with you?" She was just trying to be miserable, you know? But I loved that story because it was really inspiring to me. Because someday I want to be able to put that much love into the world, and I'd like to think I'm doing it through my songs. But, you know, there's still a part of me that really wants that little kid in the back seat that I'm driving around and I'm showing them all the places I've been and how it's changed. So this is just me dreaming a little bit about the day I get to do it. Come on, son, let's go to town. I'll show you my old stomping grounds. It only takes a 10-mile drive. Go 20 years back in time. There was a soda fountain at the old drugstore before Doc had to close the doors. It's where my high school used to be, but now it's just a memory. I know that you can't see it, but when I sit here I still feel it. The street names are etched into my bones. That sewer cap was home plate, old Miss Johnson's driveway, third base, back before they tore down all the homes. If you didn't live it, you wouldn't know that it's the same road. The only thing still here's the part. You'd lie in the grass and watch the stars. But now the street lights burn too bright, and the buildings block the sky. I know that you can't see it, but when I sit here I still feel it. The street names are etched into my bones. That sewer cap was home plate, old Miss Johnson's driveway, third base, back before they tore down all the homes. If you didn't live it, you wouldn't know that it's the same road. The scenery's changed, but that road is still the same. Yeah, I know that you can't see it, but when I sit here I still feel it. The street names are etched into my bones. That sewer cap was home plate, old Miss Johnson's driveway, third base, back before they tore down all the homes. If you didn't live it, you wouldn't know that it's the same road, but it's the same road. Thank you very much, y'all. That's just part of getting older, right? You know, seeing everything change. One of us in this room knows about getting older more than the rest of us today. And that's Kelly, because today's Kelly's birthday. Isn't that right? Happy birthday, Kelly. So obviously we got to sing happy birthday to him, am I right? So here we go. This one's for you, Kelly. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kelly. Wait, pause for dramatic effect. Happy birthday to you. Now here's a special song for Kelly. Kelly likes jumping off of shit 'cause it makes his blood pressure high. And after a long day of jumping off shit, he likes a glass of real good wine. He doesn't mind that whiskey though, thanks to his wife. And he's making everybody else look bad 'cause he still looks 25. So happy birthday, Kelly. I hope that it's real fine. We'll drink a glass of whiskey and an extra glass of wine. Oh, and maybe if we drink enough, we'll do the thing you love more than the rest. Find something high to jump off of at the end. There you go. Happy birthday, Kelly. I hope you enjoyed it. All right. Well, I'm going to do one more song and then take a real short break here. And I don't know how short. I say real short. It depends how short of a glass of whiskey I get. But, but I mentioned I lived in Nashville for a little while. And I lived in Nashville just long enough to realize that I hate writing songs about girls shaking their asses on tailgates of trucks. You know, that's just not me. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. For the folks that write those songs, they do it well and they make a lot of money doing it. I just can't do it because I don't believe it. You know, I'd rather write songs about coal miners that didn't get a fair shake. Write songs about brothers fighting in the Civil War but still holding on to love, you know? And unfortunately, that's not the kind of songs they're playing on the radio. So I had a choice to make whenever I was living in Nashville. I could start trying to write songs for the radio, or write the songs that I'd like to think that maybe Johnny Cash or George Jones would have done. So I chose to write songs for Ghost. I write songs for Jones and Johnny. Too bad I'll never hear them sing. I'd rather write a song for someone dead and gone than write something I don't believe. So I'm writing songs from gold never hear on the radio. Just 'cause I was born in the wrong time. But I'm writing what I feel, and every ear that hears can't deny the truth written in the line. And the songs that mean the most are the ones I wrote for gold. I still love writing songs about pain, about love lost in passing trains. But I don't know what for. No one wants that anymore. Except for hopefully a few folks here in Conroe, Texas, right? Guess I'm too stubborn to change. So I keep writing songs from gold never hear on the radio. Just 'cause I was born in the wrong time. I'm writing what I feel, and every ear that hears can't deny the truth written in the line. And the songs that mean the most are the ones I wrote for gold. But when I cross over to the other side, you think there's a chance I might get to hear one of them greats sing a song of mine? singing the songs that mean most, ones that I hold close. All the ones I wrote from gold. Thank you very much, y'all. Will y'all stick around, buy a bunch of shirts? They're heavy, and I don't want to carry them. And I saved all the good songs for the second set, so you got to make sure you stick around. So thank you, guys. looked and I was like, there it is. All right. So do y'all want to hear some serious, heartfelt songs, some really stupid songs, or both? Both. All right. Good deal. Well, I'm going to start out with one that is a song about thankfulness, because one of my greatest fears is that whenever I take a break during a show that everybody's going to leave. And I'm thankful that you guys did not make that dream come true. I'm also very thankful that we have a lot of really good listeners sticking around tonight. So, but I learned a lesson in thankfulness whenever I was out in California. And I didn't realize this at the time, but California is a desert. And so whenever I got up on stage and I said, I've really enjoyed my time here in California, I just wish it would stop raining. I didn't realize how stupid that was. You know, like, you don't say that in a desert. Like, that's just not a smart thing to say. But where I'm from, you know, we get rain in buckets. And so whenever I was out there, I was a little upset because I was like, you know, I was really hoping for good weather. And I was thinking about how silly it is that I have sat at my house in Kentucky and I've looked out the window and cursed the sky because it was raining. And how many times has somebody in California or West Texas or Kansas been standing outside and just praying that God would send a cloud over, you know? How many times have I cursed something that somebody else was praying for? I'm trying not to do that anymore. I'm trying to be a little more thankful for everything that comes my way. I'm thankful for the rain when it finally breaks the drought. I'm thankful for a break when it won't stop pouring down. I'm thankful for the sun when it's peeking through the clouds. And I'm thankful for the shade when I feel I'm losing ground. So I've cursed the sky enough to know it's useless, but I'm starting to realize what the truth is. All things have a season: winter, summer, spring, and fall. I'm learning to be thankful for it all. I'm thankful for my win, because I've often failed. I'm thankful for the good times, 'cause I've had my share of hell. I'm thankful for my pain, every single scar I felt. If it means that I might help somebody else. 'Cause I've cursed the sky enough to know it's useless, I'm starting to realize what the truth is. All things have a season: winter, summer, spring, and fall. And I'm learning to be thankful for it all. I've prayed so many times without an answer, and I've wondered if I did something wrong. Maybe God knows better than the asker, and He gave me what He did to make me strong. 'Cause I've cursed the sky enough to know it's useless. I'm starting to realize what the truth is. All things have a season: winter, summer, spring, and fall. I'm learning to be thankful for it all. I'm learning to be thankful for it all. Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you. How many of y'all been to Utah? All right. I feel like people have been hiding Utah from me, you know? I went there for the first time last year, and I was like, holy crap, this is beautiful. It was like one of the most beautiful places I have ever seen in my life, you know? I was out there, it was around June or so, I was out there. I was sitting in my friend's backyard, and I was looking around, and it was just white-capped mountains and green grass and trees all around, and I kept hearing these birds chirping, you know? And I was just sitting out there, and I was like, this is like, you know, heaven on earth. And I started thinking to myself, if I can't write a happy song here, then I'm just a miserable bastard, you know? And so so I had to prove that I wasn't a miserable bastard, and so I wrote this song while I was sitting inside the backyard, listening to those birds. Well, if I could be anything in the world, I think I'd be a little bird, sing a new song every day without having to remember the words. Folks would all marvel at my melodies without ever knowing what it is I sing. If I could be anything in the world, I think I'd be a bird today. Well, if I could live anywhere in the world, I think I'd live in this guitar. I'd listen to every song you play, but don't hit the strings too hard. Make a house under the saddle, although sometimes it rattles. For some reason I'd still stay. 'Cause if I could live anywhere in the world, I'd live in this guitar today. Gets a little weird. 'Cause if I could have any power in the world, I think I'd want to read dogs' minds. Although I could see that possibly I might just regret it sometime. Oh, but it'd be worth it in those moments when I get to hear him say that if they could be anything in the world, they'd be a good boy and stay. Thank you very much, y'all. If you couldn't tell by that song, I'm a Roger Miller fan. You know, we got any Roger Miller fans here? That's one of those questions that has a right and wrong answer. It's like, so I'll ask it again. We got any Roger Miller fans here? All right, good. There we go. Yeah, good. Some of y'all may not know that you're a Roger Miller fan because I was a Roger Miller fan before I even knew it. You know, I didn't even know who Roger Miller was, and I was a fan. And you might be thinking, that's crazy. You can't be a fan of somebody who you don't know who they are. But when I was a kid, I watched the Disney Robin Hood with the fox and the bear. So, any of y'all watch that? Y'all remember that? Had great songs in it like Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other have to say. Reminiscing this and that and having such a good time. Oodle-lolly, golly, what a day. Yeah. Never ever thinking there was danger in the water they were drinking, they were guzzling it down. Never ever thinking that a scheming sheriff and his posse's watching them and gathering around. Robin Hood and Little John running through the forest, jumping fences, dodging trees and trying to get away. Escaping, finally making it and having such a good time. Oodle-lolly, golly, what a day. I still don't know what oodle-lolly means. I don't think anybody does, you know? But that was the beauty of Roger Miller, is that it didn't even matter that I didn't know what that meant, you know? He had so many great songs, you know, songs like Dang Me, that you just wanted to sing along with, or Chug-a-Lug, Chug-a-Lug, or just silly ones like Don't Roller Skate in a Buffalo Herd, you know? But I always like to think about, like, if Roger Miller was around today and he walked into a record label and he said, hey, I got this great idea for a song. It's called Do Whack-a-Doo. I just wonder what they'd say to him, you know? So I got together with a couple buddies of mine that are also big Roger Miller fans. And we wrote this little tribute to Roger called No Room for Roger Miller. These suits on Music Row would probably dang 'em. Today's corporate radio sure wouldn't play 'em. But his platinum vinyl records are still hanging. There's still folks like me that are gonna sing 'em. Singing oodle-lolly, how to live long day. Chug-a-lug, cut a rug, but don't ever chug away. Do-whack-a-doo, but it ain't do-whack-a-done. Drop a needle on it, it's still just as fun. If you ask me, I say it's killer diller. They say there's no room for Roger Miller. Snap beats, repeats, sound just like the last one. Like country music's trying to pull a fast one. But if Roger was around, we'd look right past him. We'd sing those old songs that will outlast him. Singing oodle-lolly, how to live long day. Chug-a-lug, cut a rug, but don't ever chug away. Do-whack-a-doo, but it ain't do-whack-a-done. Drop a needle on it, it's still just as fun. If you ask me, I say it's killer diller. They say there's no room for Roger Miller. So I got a question for you guys. Do y'all know what to do in a song about Roger Miller whenever you run out of words to say? You make up your own. So, skip beep beep bop beep la lee beep bop skip bop beep da lee skip beep bop 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 dee da lee skip bop ba da ba dee la skip bop dee la do skip over dee la skip over dee la hoo. You're singing oodle-lolly, how to live long day. Chug-a-lug, cut a rug, but don't ever chug away. Do-whack-a-doo, but it ain't do-whack-a-done. Drop a needle on it, it's still just as fun. If you ask me, I say it's killer diller. But they say there's no room for Roger Miller. Yeah, they say there's no room for Roger Miller. But I say there's some room for Roger Miller. Trailers for sailor rent, rooms to let 50 cents. Well, I'm a man of means by no means, king of the road. Thank Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you. Well, now I hope I'm going to ask a question again. How many Roger Miller fans do we have? All right. I love making conversions, you know. Kind of like a Roger Miller evangelist. Spreading the good news. Well, I hope I can do the same for this next guy. Now, we started with a few Roger Miller fans, but I know nobody here knows a guy named Fred Rowe. But you might know somebody like him. He's the kind of person that you see at the supermarket, and you think, man, what's that guy really even living for? And then once you find out their story, you start to realize what kind of resilience it is just to get out of bed in the morning. And you realize that you probably shouldn't jump to conclusions off of first impressions. Here's a little story about Fred. Fred Rowe smokes a pack a week. Doesn't like to cook, but he's gotta eat. So he gets his TV dinners on his EBT. Goes home to live nobody's dream. Fred Rowe doesn't have to try to figure out what's going on tomorrow night. He traded his ambition for a simple life. Now he's just living till it's time to die. A perfect picture of what's right and what's wrong, what's weak and what's strong, what's giving up and carrying on. There's a lesson to be learned from every life. If you look close enough, you'll find not everything is so black and white. There's so much we don't know, and that's the lesson that I learned from Fred Rowe. Well, Fred Rowe's barely getting by. Lead inside his chest, pain behind his eyes. Wakes up drenched in sweat on a winter night, feeling guilty just because he made it out alive. Fred Rowe's got a purple heart in the back of his closet with a silver star, but he won't tell you what he got it for. He'll just tell you that he's done with the war. Perfect picture of what's right and what's wrong, what's weak and what's strong, what's giving up and carrying on. There's a lesson to be learned from every life. If you look close enough, you'll find not everything is so black and white. There's so much we don't know, and that's the lesson that I learned from Fred Rowe. Oh, some say he's a hero, and some say he's a bum. But if you ask Fred, then they're all wrong. Fred Rowe smokes a pack a week. Doesn't like to cook, but he's gotta eat. So he gets his TV dinners on his EBT. But there's so much that we don't see. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm eventually going to get those t-shirts made. Say, be nice to Fred. You know, I love the fact that I can do a couple silly songs about wanting to be a bird and my obsession with Roger Miller, and then try to punch you in the gut with a song like Fred Rowe, you know. And I used to think I had to choose. I had to be one or the other. And then I really dove into the catalog of John Prine. We got any John Prine fans out there? I love John Prine, you know, because he had silly songs like In Spite of Ourselves and Spanish Pipe Dream, you know, songs about dancing and doing the hoochie coo. But then he had those songs like Sam Stone and Hello in There. Songs that really made you think and really made you feel. I don't think anybody ever talks about John Prine and just says, oh yeah, that's that funny guy. Because he wasn't just that funny guy. He had a lot more to him than that. For a while, I thought he was an old woman that lived in Montgomery, Alabama, you know, and then I found out that he's just a really good liar, you know, and so you may know Angel from Montgomery. Another great John Prine tune. But I got a chance to see old Prine before he passed, and it was up in Beaver Dam, Kentucky. And if you aren't familiar with Beaver Dam, Kentucky, you're not alone, I'm sure, but it happens to be in western Kentucky. And it's a pretty fair distance from Paradise. So when John Prine got on stage and he started this song, he smiled so big that I swear he had about 4 extra teeth. And he said, well, this might be about as close to paradise as I ever get. And we all sing along. When I was a child, my family would travel down to western Kentucky where my parents were born. There's a backwards old town that's often remembered so many times that my memories are worn. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's gold train has hauled it away. Well, sometimes we travel right down the Green River to the abandoned old prison down by Adria Hill, where the air smelled like snakes. We'd shoot with our pistols, but empty pop bottles was all we would kill. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Then the coal company came with the world's biggest shovel, tortured the timber and they stripped all the land. Dug for their coal till the land was forsaken, wrote it all off as the progress of man. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. I die, let my ashes float down the Green River, and my soul roll up on the Rochester Dam. Be halfway to heaven with paradise awaiting, 5 miles away from wherever I am. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauling away. Thank you very much, y'all. So I mentioned my grandma earlier, and you might be thinking like, well, why isn't your grandpa getting any love? And that's because I never got to meet my grandpa, actually. I didn't really get a real idea of what a grandfather was until I was about 25, and I got married, and I inherited a grandpa from my wife. And she had a really good one, you know. His name's Eugene. And Eugene was about like my grandma was, you know. I just would go over there, and he reminded me a lot of John Prine with that big smile, you know. I used to love it. He wasn't a man of many words, but when he did speak, it was always something really important and really wise. I remember one time we were over there, and one of his grandsons said, "Grandpa, what's the secret to being married as long as you've been married to Grandma?" And he said, "Yes, ma'am." That was it, you know, just yes, ma'am, you know, and there was so much wisdom packed into those two words. But, you know, he lived to be 97 years old, and he saw so much life, you know. He lived through World War II. He was married to the same woman for his entire life. He had 2 kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. It was appropriate that he had great-grandkids because he really was a great-grandfather. If you would have asked me, what does a life worth living look like? He's the one I would have taken you to. So here's a little song about Eugene. Stronger than any drink, he ages like whiskey, getting better as every year goes by. He's seen peace and war, but won a whole lot more. He still believes that there's an end in sight. Yeah, he found love just once, and he held on to that love for his entire life. He taught me how to live, stand strong and forgive. Showed me wrong from right. He spent 90 years showing what a man can do. Built a legacy and family to pass it to. If you want to see a life worth living, he's the one I'd take you to. He's 90 proof. And if you try to tell him how great a man he's been, he'd just smile and say he did the best he could. How's he make it seem like it's so easy to live a life so good? 'Cause he spent 90 years showing what a man can do. Built a legacy and family to pass it to. If you want to see a life worth living, he's the one I'd take you to. 'Cause he's 90 proof. found hope inside of hard times, courage in the midst of fear. Seeing how he spent his life has taught me how I want to spend my years. He spent 90 years showing what a man can do. He built a legacy and family to pass it to. If you want to see a life worth living, he's the one I take you to. 'Cause he's 90 proof. 90 proof. Thank you very much, y'all. Well, y'all want to hear one more song? Sound good? One more song. Well, it only seems appropriate. I'm impressed that that stood up. I just have to point that out. You know, I just threw that down and just stayed right there. It feels wrong to be down in Texas and not do a Willie song. We got any Willie fans out there? Yeah. So I hope to be so famous one day that people can just call me by one name. You know. I think it's just Willie, Madonna, and Cher. I think that's the only ones that have it, but... Oh, and Dolly, that's true, you know, that's right. Dolly's up there, yeah. Well, this is one of my favorite Willie songs, and it's a fun one to end on. It's a fun one to sing along with, so y'all feel free to sing it with me. I know you know it. On the road again, just can't wait to get on that road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on that road again. On the road again, going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on that road again. On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. 'Cause our way on the road again. Just can't wait to get on that road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on that road again. Road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. 'Cause our way is on the road again. Just can't wait to get on that road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on that road again. Well, I see a few of you moving your lips, but I can't really hear you all that well. And I know the problem is whenever you're singing this in the car or in the shower, you're not singing it like I'm singing it. You're singing it like I do when I'm in the car, and that is... You're doing your best, worst Willie impression. Am I right? You know? So here's your chance to bust out that Willie impression, y'all. We'll all sing a little off key and a little out of time together, and it'll sound just absolutely magical. Here we go. On the road again. Beautiful. I just can't wait to get on that road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on that road again. Perfect. Give yourselves a hand, y'all. Well, I spent a lot of time on the road, so I got tired of singing it like that, and I thought, you know, this would be a great song for somebody to do a remake of. And I think the only person that could do it justice would probably be somebody like Chris Stapleton, you know? I think if he did it, it would probably sound a little something like this, though. On the road again, I just can't wait to get on that road again. Life I love is making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on that road again. Thank you. Thank you very much. But then I thought, why stop there? This song's such a classic. It needs a classic version, you know? Somebody from the Rat Pack doing it. Maybe Sinatra, you know? Smoothing out all those rough edges. Maybe it would sound something like this. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on that road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. Oh, and I can't wait to get on that road again. But I see y'all aren't impressed. I know what you really want. You want the Bob Dylan version. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on that road again. I'm just kidding. I know y'all don't want that. Here we go. If y'all think of somebody you want to hear singing this song too, you can yell it out, and I'll either say yes or no. There's no risk, really, you know. Did I hear Elvis too? Elvis and Christopher Walken. I think if Christopher Walken did it, it would be like, on the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is there with my friends. And I can't wait to get on the road again. Probably the best Christopher Walken I can do, which is terrible. Maybe I'll have better luck with Elvis. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on that road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. And I can't wait. Oh, 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 and I can't wait to get on that road again. One more, you know? I gotta do Dolly. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on that road again. This feels like sacrilege. I just can't do it. No, I usually close with my best diva impression, you know? Because everybody used to say, do the Adele version. Or they would say, do the Lady Gaga version, you know? And I was always scared because whenever people would request that, I hadn't discovered tight pants yet. But now, I feel pretty confident, and I settled on my favorite diva version, the Christina Aguilera version. Here we go. All right. On the road again, I just can't wait to get on that road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. Oh, and I can't wait to get on that road again. Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you. I hope y'all enjoyed yourself. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. This has been a blast. Thank you, Eric, for having me. Y'all give Eric a hand. He put a great deal into making this place cool, and he did a great job making it cool. So thank y'all for having me again. And I notice how comfortable you are inside of your flannel, and I notice that you're all bundled up inside of something. So I'm just saying, like, look at that. I'm just, all right.